Remember when COVID first emerged? It left a trail of devastation across the world. The deaths, the lockdowns. But some people thrived even during those early days. We're talking about the COVID billionaires. From pharma companies to Zoom, some people made a fortune. But you know what they say, what goes up must come down. And COVID billionaires have seen their fortunes come crashing down. We'll start with Moderna. The pharma company's shares rose almost 2,400% during the pandemic. CEO Stefan Bancel saw his net worth rise to $15 billion. But the crash has been equally dramatic. As of September 30th this year, he's worth a little less than $4 billion. He has lost about 75% of his net worth. Next, we look at the Zoom tycoon. Eric Yuan's net worth rose to almost $29 billion. But as the world has started moving back to the office, his wealth has fallen about 84% to $4.6 billion. And after pharma and networking, we look at a case from the e-commerce and online gaming sectors. Forrest Lee is the chairman of the Singapore-based Sea Limited. For a short time last year, he became Singapore's richest person. His net worth rose to almost $22 billion, but it has since fallen by around 83%. Then there are the Ernest Garcias. The father-son duo made a fortune with Carvana, an e-commerce platform for used cars. Garcia Sr. owns about 30% of the company. His net worth rose to almost $22 billion during the pandemic. And now it has shrunk by almost 82%. And rounding off the top five is South Korea's Bom Kim. He founded Korean e-commerce giant Coupang. His wealth peaked at about $9 billion and has now fallen by about 67%. Bloomberg considers 58 people COVID billionaires. Both the rise and the subsequent fall in their fortunes has been steeper than that of regular billionaires. While other billionaires too saw a surge in their wealth during the pandemic, the rise of their fortunes was comparatively slower, more gradual. Their loss of wealth has been less sudden as well. Remember, high inflation around the world has caused central banks to raise interest rates. This has caused markets around the world to fall by about 25% this year. But does this mean it's all doom and gloom for the COVID tycoons? Not exactly. They are still billionaires after all. Many cashed in their shares and have wealth that's separate from their company shares. At a time when millions lost their jobs, the COVID billionaires minted enormous amounts. Their losses are great, but it's nothing compared to the misery inflicted upon millions of ordinary citizens. So what happened? How did these billionaire fortunes crumble? Let's now put this question to our guest on the show today. Daniel Lacaille joins us from Madrid. He is the chief economist of Spain's Stresses Bank. Daniel, we've seen the rise and subsequent slump in the wealth of COVID billionaires in the last 3 years. This gives us a sense of the strange financial times that we live in. Did these billionaires see this coming?
I don't think that the billionaires saw this coming. Certainly, what we have seen is a period in which we did not imagine that there could be such an incredible increase in number of people that massively accumulated record levels of wealth throughout the COVID-19 crisis because of a specific issue. However, the reality is that easy money comes and goes very fast. So I think that those billionaires certainly did not expect it, and they probably did not expect it on the way up either. So it's very, very probable that right now they are facing significant financial difficulties.
Right. Daniel, also many believe that work from home is a thing of the past. Investors say that there is no more growth to be had in work from home models. What's your take on this?
I'm not entirely sure that work from home has ended. I think that there's been a very evident return to the work from home model in the financial sector, for example. And we have in our case, in our fund, for example, a significant proportion of people that spend between 2 to 3 days a week at home. Level of productivity increases. It's much better for conciliation. So I don't think that the work from home model is gone. However, I do think that there were some work from home models that were unsustainable because, for example, in consulting or in marketing, it is proven to be very difficult to undertake commercial activities online.
Finally, Daniel, the pace at which these new fortunes have crumbled is quite alarming. Some have compared it to once-in-a-generation episodes such as the 2008 financial crisis or even the Great Depression. Do you agree?
I don't agree for a very simple reason. Those COVID billionaires became billionaires very quickly throughout the pandemic. No? So it's easy money coming in and going out. I don't think that it's something that would sort of replicate the crisis of 2008. What we are seeing is simply the fact that there was something that was extraordinary, like the COVID-19 crisis, that generated some wealth, and that wealth has finished. But I don't think it's going to generate ramifications into other sectors on a negative level like the 2008 crisis was.
WION World is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.